Welcome to English Grammar 2, Unit 53. Verb plus ing. For example, enjoy doing or stop doing, etc. Here we speak about verbs that are followed by verb plus ing. We know in English we have certain verbs followed by verb plus ing, other verbs followed by to plus the base form, and still other verbs followed by base form only. Now we are going to speak about verbs which are followed by verb plus ing. Means followed by gerund or by present participle. Verb plus ing. Part A. Look at these examples. I enjoy reading. Here the sentence I enjoy reading. Here we have the verb enjoy, and the verb enjoy is followed by verb plus ing. Read plus ing becomes reading. So we say I enjoy reading. So the verb enjoy is followed by verb plus ing. So we say I enjoy reading. We don't say I enjoy to read. We don't use to plus base form after the verb enjoy. The second example, would you mind closing the door? Here, after mind, after the verb mind, we use verb plus ing, close plus ing, then it becomes closing. So after mind we use verb plus ing as well. So we say, would you mind closing the door? We don't say, would you mind to close the door? We don't use to plus the base form after the verb mind. The third example, Chris suggested going to the cinema. Here we have the verb suggested in the past, and what comes after it? We have a verb plus ing. So it becomes Chris suggested going. We have go plus ing means we have verb plus ing after the verb suggested. So we say Chris suggested going to the cinema. We don't say Chris suggested to go. We don't use to plus the base form after the verb suggested. And in these cases, the verb enjoy and mind and suggest, whether they are written in the present or in the past or in any tense, what comes after them here are verbs plus ing. So we find here enjoy reading. Here we have reading. If we say I enjoyed, still we say I enjoyed reading. Whether the verb enjoy is in the present or in the past or in any tense, what comes after it directly? Verb plus ing. Same for other verbs. For example, here we have the verb suggested. Suggested is in the past, but still what comes after suggested is verb plus ing. So these verbs are followed by verb plus ing. So after the verbs enjoy, mind and suggest, we use verb plus ing. We don't use to plus the base form. Here we have some more verbs that are followed by verb plus ing. For example, we have stop, finish, postpone, consider, admit, deny, avoid, risk, imagine, and fancy. For example, here we have the first example. Suddenly, everybody stopped talking. There was silence. Here we have The verb stopped, it is in the past, but still what comes after it? Talking. Verb plus ing. I'll do, the second example, I'll do the shopping when I have finished cleaning the flat. After the verb have finished, it is in the present perfect, we have still here verb plus ing, cleaning. So the verb finished, whether it is in the past or in the present or in the present perfect, what comes after it directly is verb plus ing. Third example, he tried to avoid answering my questions. We have here the verb tried is in the past, and to avoid we have the verb avoid, and what comes after avoid? After avoid we have verb plus ing, we have answering. So the verb avoid is followed by verb plus ing, here answering. The fourth example, I don't fancy going out this evening. We have the verb here fancy. So after the verb fancy, we have verb plus ing, we have going here, go plus ing, so it becomes going. So the statement becomes this way, the I don't fancy going out this evening means I'm not enthusiastic about it. The last example here, or it is not the last, have you ever considered going to live in another country? This is a question, and we have the verb considered in the past, and it is followed by verb plus ing, going. The negative form is not plus verb plus ing. The negative form of the verb plus ing, we just add not before the verb plus ing. For example, when I am on holiday, I enjoy, and here we have the verb enjoy, and the negative of having is like this, we use not, so it becomes I enjoy not having to get up early. So the verb plus ing, when it is used in the negative, we use not before it. So it becomes I enjoy not having to get up early. We have other verbs, for example, the verb postpone. We can say the committee postponed writing the report. We have here writing is used after the verb postponed. We have the verb admit as well. We say the thief admitted stealing the money. And there the verb admitted is followed by verb plus ing as well. Or we can say another example, the thief denied stealing the money. Here the verb denied is followed by verb plus ing, stealing. And we have also imagine. For example, we say, I can't imagine going to America. We followed the verb imagine by verb plus ing, going. Let's go for part 2, part B. Part B, we also use verb plus ing after certain verbs followed by prepositions. For example, we have give up, The verb give up means stop. The verb put off means postpone. And the verb go on or carry on means continue. And the verb keep or keep on means do something continuously or repeatedly. First example here, I have given up reading newspapers. Here we have given up. We have here the verb given up is written in the present perfect. And what comes after it? Verb plus ing, reading. I think it is a waste of time. The second example, Jenny doesn't want to retire, full stop. She wants to go on working. We have here the verb go on followed by working, verb plus ing. Or she wants to carry on working. We have the verb carry on and it's followed by verb plus ing. Third example, you keep interrupting when I am talking. Here we have the verb keep is followed by verb plus ing, interrupting. Or you keep on interrupting when I am talking. Here we have the verb keep on followed by a preposition and followed by interrupting verb plus ing. If we look at these verbs here, give up, put off, go on, keep on, we find what comes after the verbs. We have prepositions up, off, on, and we know in English that prepositions are followed by nouns, and if we don't have real nouns, we can use sometimes verb plus ing. Nouns derived from verbs such as writing, going, playing. So it is known that prepositions are followed by nouns, and nouns can be replaced by verbs plus ing, verb plus ing, or in other words, verbs, or in other words, nouns derived from verbs by adding ing to the verb. That's why here in this case we find what comes after give up, put off, go on, carry on, keep on. We have verb plus ing. We have here first example, I have given up reading newspapers. I think it's a waste of time. Here have given up, we have up here. Up is followed by verb plus ing. Jenny doesn't want to retire. She wants to go on. We have on here. It is followed by verb plus ing. Or Jenny wants to carry on working. We have here on after carry. Then it is followed by verb plus ing. And the last one is here. You keep interrupting. Keep here. The verb is followed directly by interrupting by gerund, by verb plus ing. When I am talking, or you keep on interrupting when I am talking. Here we have on after keep, and after on we have verb plus ing. In part C, we have with some verbs you can use the structure verb plus somebody plus verb plus ing. Means we put somebody or a person between the verb and the verb plus ing that follows it. For example, here, I can't imagine George. We have here George riding a motorbike. If we say I can't imagine riding a motorbike, who's riding without writing the name George means you can't imagine the subject itself here. I can't imagine myself means I riding a motorbike. So if it is somebody else, then you need to put the name here after imagine. So it becomes I can't imagine who's riding George. So we say, I can't imagine George riding a motorbike. So it doesn't make any difference, but you have the verb here imagine, and imagine is followed by verb plus ing, but it is followed by sometimes by a name of a person if it is not the subject of the main sentence. Here is the doer of the action in the word riding. So if you speak about yourself, you say, or if the person is speaking about himself or herself, then the sentence becomes this way: I can't imagine riding a motorbike, dropping myself, or here the subject, the same subject is I of the second part. So when when you speak about another person, you need to mention the other person before the verb plus ing. The second example, you can't stop me doing what I want. You can't stop me doing what I want. Here you want to mention the person, so the person is mentioned before the verb plus ing, so it becomes, you can't stop me doing what I want. And here me is an object here in the object form. The pronoun me is in the object form, though if you think of the verb doing, of the action of doing, so the action is done by me, but here I am an object, so it becomes, you can't stop me doing what I want. And here the verb stop is followed by verb plus ing, but before the verb plus ing we use a person. Third example, sorry to keep you waiting so long. We have the verb here keep, and keep is followed by verb plus ing, but because we speak about another person, we use the pronoun you, so it becomes, sorry to keep you waiting so long. So we use you before waiting, and you is the object of keep. And the other person says, that's all right. Note the passive form, being done, being seen, or being kept, etc. Here you are supposed to concentrate and think very well about the idea in this example. I don't mind being kept waiting. After the verb mind, we have gerund, being, and after being, we have kept, waiting. If you look about the meaning of this sentence, means I don't mind, and this is one part, people, and remember this or write it in your paper to understand it. I don't mind people who are keeping me waiting. And here me is an object. If we think of the second part, people who are keeping me waiting, people who are keeping me waiting, this is direct sentence. We have a subject and verb and object, me. If we change the second part into passive, people who are keeping me waiting, it becomes, we bring me forward, we bring the object forward, it becomes I are keeping, which people is plural. When it becomes I, then it is singular. I takes am, then it becomes I am being, I am becomes I am, and it is in the continuous. We use being in the passive form, so it becomes I am being, and the past participle of keep, it is kept, so it becomes I am being kept waiting. I am being kept waiting. And we drop I am, so it becomes being kept. We erase I am, so it becomes being kept. So when we join the two sentences together, it becomes I don't mind being kept together. If you want to understand this sentence, you must write what I am saying on paper to understand it. Okay, so I am going to repeat it again. In this sentence, I don't mind being kept waiting means I don't mind, and this is one part, one sentence, and the other sentence, people who are keeping me waiting. People who are keeping me waiting. This is normal sentence, active sentence. And if we want to change this active sentence, people who are keeping me waiting, into passive, we bring, where is the object? Object is me. It becomes forward and it becomes subject, so it becomes I. And are is changed into am, so it becomes I am. And it is are keeping is continuous. To change the continuous into passive, so it becomes am being, we use being, and the past participle of keep becomes kept, so it becomes I am being kept waiting. I am being kept waiting. As in the first sentence, people who are is dropped, so we drop I am, so it becomes or erase. As who are is erased in the active sentence, we erase I am, so it becomes what? It becomes I am being kept, it becomes being kept waiting. So the sentence becomes this way. I don't mind. When we join both sentences together, it becomes I don't mind being kept waiting. Let's move to part D. And part D, when you are talking about finished actions, you can say having done, or having stolen, or having said, etc. And here in this case, we speak about the first example here. For example, they admitted having stolen the money. This is the sentence. What comes after the verb admitted? Verb plus ing. Then after that comes stolen, the past participle of steal. So imagine the sentence this way. They admitted that they had stolen the money. Write this sentence. They admitted that they had stolen the money. They admitted that they had stolen the money. And to contract the sentence, erase that and they, so it becomes they admitted had stolen the money. And we use verb plus ing after admitted, so it becomes had becomes having. So we say they admitted having stolen the money. After removing that and they, we have had stolen. And what comes after the verb admitted? Comes verb plus ing. What is the verb plus ing of the verb had? The original verb is have, so it becomes having stolen the money. And if we want to contract it more, we can cut off having. We cut off having, we remove having, and we have they admitted stolen the money, and it is incorrect. What comes after the verb admitted is verb plus ing, so stolen becomes stealing. So the form of the sentence becomes this way. They admitted stealing the money. This is the third form. But it is not necessary to use having done. You can also say they admitted stealing the money. So if we want to contract having stolen, to shorten it more, so we remove having and we change stolen into verb plus ing, so it becomes they admitted stealing the money. So we have the example here, they admitted stealing the money. Another example here, I now regret saying or having said what I said. Means, write it in this way, I now regret that I had said what I said, and remove that and I, so we need to change had into verb plus ing, so it becomes having said. So it becomes I now regret having said what I said. And if you want to shorten it more or to contract it more, then you remove having. So you have said. So said after regret must be in the verb plus ing. So we change said into saying. So we say, I now regret saying what I said. This is the third form. So it has, this example has two forms. I now regret having said what I said. If I want to shorten it more or to contract it, I remove having and I need to change said into verb plus ing, so it becomes saying. So we say I now regret saying what I said, because the verb regret is followed by verb plus ing. Part E. After some of the verbs on this page, especially admit, deny, and suggest, you can also use that. Let's see the examples. We have already said that the verbs admit, deny, suggest are followed by verb plus ing. This is one rule. The other rule can say that we can use that clause after these verbs. Use that plus subject plus verb. So, for example, we can say they denied that they had stolen the money. We have here the form, they denied that they had stolen the money. We can change it, they denied, and remove that and they. We can say they denied and had is changed into verb plus ing, so it becomes they denied having stolen the money. And if we want to remove having as well and make it more, make it shorter, then we say they denied and we remove having, then we have stolen. So stolen must be written in the with the verb plus ing, because the verb denied is followed by verb plus ing. So stolen becomes stealing. So we say they denied stealing the money. The last example, Sam suggested that we went to the cinema. Sam suggested that we went to the cinema. Here we have the verb in the past. After that, we have that clause after suggest, that we went to the cinema. We can say Sam suggested going to the cinema. And if we want to make this sentence, this example shorter, Sam suggested that we went to the cinema, we drop that, we remove that we remove that and we. So it becomes Sam suggested, and what remains after that, went to the cinema. And the verb suggested is followed by verb plus ing. So went becomes goes back to its original verb. It is go, and we add ing, so it becomes Sam suggested going to the cinema. That is the last form. To understand these examples, you need to write what I have said on papers as I explained them. Then you will reach to the correct form and how it is driven here. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.